Today, we're looking at your old laptops. The ones that still turn on, still connect to the internet, still open your documents without complaint, but have now officially been dropped by Microsoft. These machines haven't suddenly become useless overnight. They haven't physically changed, they haven't slowed down dramatically in the last week. But because they don't meet the official requirements for Windows 11, and because support for Windows 10 ended in October 2025, they've effectively been left behind. And maybe yours is now sitting closed in a drawer. Maybe it's in a cupboard. Maybe you've already replaced it and you're wondering, what do I do with it next? Whatever you do, don't throw it away just yet. Today, I want to show you how we can save these machines, keep them secure, and actually make them useful again, all while protecting your data properly. Now, I've got 3 laptops here, and all still work perfectly fine, yet are officially unsupported. Before we do anything drastic, though, if you are still actively using one of these Windows 10 machines, there's something important you need to do right now. You need to sign up for the extended security updates. Microsoft is offering these updates through to October 2026, but they are not automatic. You have to manually enroll through the Windows Update section in your settings. That setup alone buys you valuable time, keeps your machine patched against newly discovered vulnerabilities while you decide what your long-term plan is going to be. But when October 2026 does come around, that's it. The safety net disappears. And at that point, something needs to change. So let's talk through the options. And to do that, I'm going to focus on one specific laptop. As I mentioned, I've got 3. There's a small Acer laptop that's been featured on the channel before. We upgraded that one with more RAM and a new SSD, and it's still running great. I'll link that video below. Then there's my Acer gaming laptop, which honestly still feels snappy, doesn't really deserve to be dropped really. I've actually got some ideas on that one in the future video, so keep an eye out for that. But today we're using this HP 15 BW551SA, and I chose this one very deliberately. This is the lowest spec machine I own. It's the kind of laptop that so many people bought back in 2018 as a basic, affordable, everyday computer. It's an AMD Radeon 6 9220 processor, dual core with 3 graphics cores, 4GB of DDR4 RAM running at 1866 MHz, and a 1TB spinning hard drive. Yes, a mechanical hard drive in a 2018 laptop. That alone tells you the type of machine we're dealing with here. Why they still shipped them out with spinning mechanical hard drives in 2018, well, that's a ramble for another day. Now, technically, this laptop is upgradable. It could take up to 16GB of RAM, and we could swap that hard drive for a 2.5-inch SSD, which would completely transform how it feels. But for this video, I'm leaving it exactly as it is, as most people would have it, completely stock. Because if we can make this usable in its current state, then you can feel confident about saving yours too. So let's start with the simplest path. You could just stay on Windows 10 and ride out those extended security updates until October 2026. And honestly, Windows 10 still works absolutely fine. It's stable, it's familiar, and on older hardware, it often feels smoother than Windows 11. As long as you've enrolled in those updates, it remains secure for now. But that's a short-term solution. Once updates stop entirely, running it connected to the internet becomes more and more risky over time. So while this buys you breathing room, it isn't the long-term answer. The next option is forcing Windows 11 onto the unsupported hardware. And yes, this is possible. You can download the official Windows 11 ISO directly from Microsoft, and then use a tool called Rufus to create a bootable USB drive. Rufus has made this process surprisingly straightforward. Once you select the ISO and begin creating the USB, it presents you with options to remove requirements like TPM 2.0, secure boot, and even minimum RAM limits. You simply tick the relevant boxes and let it build the installer. From there, you can either run setup.exe from within your existing Windows 10 installation to perform an in-place upgrade, keeping your files, apps, and settings, or you can boot directly from the USB for a clean install. If the installer ever seems to hang while trying to download updates, selecting Not Right Now often gets it moving again. Now, does it work? Yes. Is it officially supported? No. And the distinction matters. Without TPM 2.0 and Secure Boot, you lose certain hardware level protections. Features like BitLocker hardware key storage and some Windows Hello improvements won't function as intended. Over time, more applications are likely to depend on modern hardware security features. So, while forcing Windows 11 can extend usability, it does come with compromises, particularly around long-term security and compatibility. Another route some people might take is installing Tiny 11. Tiny 11 is essentially a stripped-down version of Windows designed to run on older or lower-powered machines. It removes a lot of the bloat, reduces resource usage, and can feel noticeably lighter on systems with limited RAM. A lot of users genuinely rave about it. It can receive updates, it feels familiar, and it often performs better than a full Windows 11 install on weak hardware. But it is a third-party project. It is not an official Microsoft release. That doesn't automatically make it unsafe, but it does mean you would need to do your research. If you are comfortable understanding what you're installing and accepting the trade-offs, it can absolutely be a viable way to extend the life of older hardware. And then we come to my personal favorite, Linux. There are countless Linux distributions out there. Some are extremely lightweight and designed specifically for older hardware. Others aim to feel familiar to Windows users, so the learning curve isn't steep. In a previous video, we installed Ubuntu on an older MacBook, and that worked brilliantly. But today, on this HP machine, I'm trying Linux Mint Cinnamon Edition. Linux Mint Cinnamon gives you a full desktop experience that feels surprisingly comfortable for Windows users, while still being lighter than many mainstream operating systems. There is an even lighter edition available, but for this test, I want to see how the full version handles on this lower spec machine. The process is straightforward. On another computer, download the Linux Mint ISO. Use Rufus again to flash it to a USB drive. Then, with the HP turned off, power it on and repeatedly press F9 to access the startup menu. From there, select the USB drive. What's brilliant about Linux is that most distributions allow you to live boot. That means the entire operating system runs directly from the USB, well, at least a taster, before you install anything. You can test performance, explore the interface, open applications, browse the web, all without touching the existing system on the hard drive. It's essentially a risk-free trial. If you don't like it, you simply shut down, remove the USB, and try a different distribution. Nothing changes. Once you're happy, you can begin the installation from the desktop. I always recommend connecting via Ethernet during the installation, as this allows Linux to fetch any necessary drivers automatically. If Wi-Fi doesn't work immediately, there are plenty of guides and commands available to help install drivers manually, or you can download them from another machine and transfer them across. And once it's installed, that's it. You now have a secure, supported operating system running on hardware that was supposedly obsolete. Even on this 4GB machine with a spinning hard drive, it's absolutely usable. Is it lightning fast? No. The mechanical drive definitely holds it back, but it works, it's stable, it's secure, and with a future SSD upgrade, it would feel like an entirely different machine. Here's the proof that you can take a lower spec laptop, which was destined to the bin by Microsoft, and save it. And it is usable. Okay, maybe not the quickest due to the hard drive. Once you've installed Linux and brought it back to life, you've achieved more than you think. You've kept technology out of the landfill. You've saved yourself money. You've learned new skills. And you've proven that you don't always need to buy new. Be confident in yourself. You absolutely can keep older tech going. And in doing so, you're not just saving money, you're helping the environment out as well. If you've enjoyed watching this, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Consider hitting that hype button if you found this useful, as it really helps support the channel. If you'd like to support the channel even further, go check out the new merchandise and consider being a member to the channel. Come and join the crew and get perks along the way. And I will see you all in the next one.